It's nice and close to the microphone.
Oh, okay. So, if I understand correctly, Common Core wants you to do assessments in order to determine how well the teacher teaches. Is that right?
Yes.
So we're gonna have a pop quiz, and we'll see how well I did.
Oh. Okay.
Seriously? Are you like a school teacher?
What was that?
That's it.
Oh, okay. So,
I think it means I just joined your meeting.
Can you see her screen?
Oh.
so you see me moving the thing? Okay. So, first question. The board of directors is? The board of directors is?
Oh, this is related to the
Board of directors
automobile
is
plan.
the,
Legislature.
be the people.
Thank you. Ding, 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 ding.
I was listening.
The CEO is the
CEO is the legislature.
Legislature.
ding, 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 who creates books or
Manuals? No? Books or instruction manual?
Repair manuals.
Oh, laws.
Statutes.
Statutes.
Titles.
Laws.
books have titles
Oh,
Titles.
that have chapters, and the person who's going to end up writing the book or put the details and the information down is the
boards and the executive.
executive branch, the CEO or the
Executive.
With people.
Oh, sorry. The
The-
legislature.
yes,
Legislature.
reviews the book and then either rejects or accepts what the
Boards. Commissions, departments.
executive branch wrote.
Executive branch.
Right, so the board of directors is us. I'm the CEO. You tell me, you the people, we want a book written on how to run these cars that we're making in this plant. I say, okay. So I, the legislature, I go to the person who's creating the car and I say, we need a book on how you're building this car together and how to take care of it. So he's taking the board of directors' intentions to them, and he's the executive branch because he's got all the agencies. So then he gets done with the book, he brings it to me, and I say, as a CEO, this isn't what the board of directors said. This isn't what the legislature said, or what we want. So we're giving this part back to you because you wrote it wrong, but this part's okay. So go back and redo it or don't do it at all.
So it's my understanding though now as it is, they either have to adopt all or get rid of all
All.
of the rules. A rules presented.
What did we go over when it comes? That's actually the next next question. What are the three types of rules?
Fee, no fee, and it's temporary or
Temporary. So fee, pending without fee, pending with fee, and temporary. And each of those are handled differently. If there's no action on the temporary, it dies. It goes away. With fee requires a concurrent resolution to reject. And then you've got the without the fee. And that's in your handout, dealie. So pending rule with no fees must be rejected by concurrent resolution adopted by both houses. And a pending fee rule be approved by concurrent resolution or it does not take effect and is declared null and void. And so that's in that link or that document I sent you. So going back to our website, everybody in place?
Yes.
So I want you to find in 2016 legislation, HJR 5.
Pending legislation. 512 documents. 39 documents.
Done.
scrolling down. Got it.
Got it?
Is it
Okay, there's faster way.
administrative?
Hey, hey. Cheating.
No,
They weren't even here,
Yeah,
so they don't
they
have
weren't
any
here.
idea what to do.
So go to fire session.
Is it administrative rules review?
Hey, cheating.
Let's scroll up.
This is a test on how well I taught you.
Taught me really well. I just don't know anything.
So, what are you doing?
There's
Well,
no-
I found it. I was going right to it. Did you want that?
Okay, so
It's
click
supposed to be.
here.
I clicked on HDR5.
sessions.
No.
Oh, what happened?
This-
Okay, so let's go through
That
this.
we're supposed to have?
I are.
Yes,
where-
except let's go back to the state statute page.
Okay, so where?
Okay,
here's
I'm
our-
gonna walk you through it again.
Oh, the journal. I clicked on.
Go
the
back
journal.
to,
Oh, share file.
Go back to Idaho
That's
statutes,
not
right at the top where it says Idaho laws and rules, Idaho statutes. Go back to the title, where all the titles are at.
All right.
She started over.
Okay. So go to prior sessions, prior sessions.
Right there.
Okay, let them just listen to me. Prior sessions, 2016 sessions, at the drop down to the right, go to 2016 legislation. You there?
Legislation by bill.
Legislation by bill number. Then you have to scroll way down where it has the concurrent resolutions, House joint resolutions. It's about a little more than halfway down.
Legislation, there we go.
House joint resolutions in bold,
Bill
down,
number.
House joint down farther. There you go. See where it says House joint resolutions? And then you see HJR 05 and click on it.
Adjust the, okay, then scroll down to HDR5.
I only have.
It's way down, it's way down. You don't have way down. Keep going, keep going, keep
Am I
going,
in the
keep
wrong
going.
spot?
Keep
Wrong
going, keep
page?
going,
I
keep
don't see
going.
it.
Are you at the very bottom?
There'll be a break.
Are you
There'll be a
sure?
break.
Yeah, you're sure.
Right there.
Let's go back up.
House joint resolutions.
Oh, wait,
and
go,
then
go, 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 go.
HJR5.
Well, down
Right
again.
here. Oh, in the middle. Okay.
See where it says House joint resolutions? This is all the House and the bottom's the Senate.
Okay.
Okay, so go back to, at the link at the top, go back to Idaho laws and rules and the Idaho statutes. Now I want you to find 2014 HJR2.
2014.
What did you say?
You have to
HJR2.
change the, change the
HJR2.
sensitivity.
2014.
Done.
Got it.
You there?
Yes.
Resolutions.
Let's see, there we go.
No,
HJR 002. There you go. Did you get there?
HJR2.
No,
We get
2014.
candy bar or something for the first one's there.
I'm sorry?
Yeah,
We
so
get a candy bar or
you will
something
go
for the
to,
first one's there.
No,
Go
you,
back.
you get to be free of the beatings.
Well, that might be it right there.
2014, is that where you're at?
Yes, because it was created in 2014.
So
You beat me
Fire
by like
section.
2 seconds.
you don't have to go all the way back
What's the
out.
number? HCR2.
Let's go back up to fire session. Get fire sessions. Okay, 2014 legislation.
Okay, so that's how you find bills. You have to find the year and then go by the bill number and then go down and search for the bill.
2014 legislation.
So now I want you to, from this page, go to administrative rules. From this page, go to administrative rules.
Okay. There. Okay, I'm there.
Remember all your, there you go.
Yeah.
I want you to find the code number. So go to where you would find the code number.
Currently. Okay,
Yes, it would
I'm
be
there.
current. And then go to Board of Education.
Okay, I'm behind. What was the last one?
Okay, you have to go to where the current code is.
Okay, I'm there.
This isn't.
Okay, and then find the Board of Education. It's Education Board of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Click on that.
Click on that square.
Well, it was there. Went to select it.
You may have to use this.
That's
I just looked really-
You can adjust the sensitivity of it in your settings.
Administrative code, sorry.
Click on that.
You should be.
Then, let's try this.
Education.
No.
Okay, everybody there?
No.
Right? Because I went,
Click on that magnifying glass right there. Kind of nice doing this by mind control, huh?
No, this is
he's
me.
on his own page,
This is her.
but you're a veteran.
Not in Idaho.
Zoom.
I have a feeling you
Reset the
started like,
default.
Okay, so then I want you to find IDAPA, and what does IDAPA stand for?
You gotta get there first.
Idaho
No, I want to go
Department.
down.
Idaho Administrative Procedures.
Act.
Act. Okay, so IDAPA is easier to say. So IDAPA, then you recognize, oh, this is a rule. So go to rule 080201.
Rules governing administration.
Correct.
080201. Rules governing.
All of the
Don't
rules are
touch anymore.
PDFs. And here in Idaho.
You're supposed to click on it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Not very good.
Don't make me worry.
So that's what the rules look like for
Or the, go ahead and click on that.
Title 2, Chapter
You
1.
get yourself on. And, no, don't ever click on it. Bring the menu up.
And it's only 17 pages.
Only.
And then click on that.
Okay, one thing I forgot to show you last time when I was dragging you back with the back button. If on the left-hand side, go back to the Office of Administrative Rules Coordinator.
Current code. Click on current code.
And then on the left-hand side, it says APA and Idaho Code.
Mhm.
Instead of using your back button to get back, you could just go to Idaho Code and it takes you back to the statutes.
Yeah, that's what I did. That was my mistake.
Yeah, I should have shown you that last time.
It jumped over.
So, what's my grade?
Yes, all my plumbing
I thought you did
laws are in
awesome.
there.
Where are we?
You're
It's a lot to maneuver through.
We're at the top.
Go back.
What's all this stuff over on that side?
Those are just all like bookmarks.
You need to be on and make sure it was
She could get rid of them. She didn't have to have them.
Oh, okay, okay.
Crazy.
Okay, so what did I tell you about this website? What did I say about it?
But anything that we need to find is here.
It's your,
library.
yes, it's your library.
Oh,
So-
this is the library we're going to?
Yes, we're
You're not
gonna,
Take us to the State House Library?
this is a state house library.
I mean, the actual walk-in State House.
I wouldn't go up there, I can't take my gun in.
Okay.
You
You
can?
need it. The state
You
house.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they may talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just courts and schools and university if you don't have enhanced.
In the sheriff's department.
Oh, okay.
You know, well, I'm security.
I think you all probably need it at the state house most.
So let's go through and explore the library a little bit and where information is. And remember that information that you go to can be gone to from different places. So the way in which I had to get to information is just one way. But let's go up to Idaho Laws and Rules. You know, Idaho Laws and Rules. You there?
Yep.
There you go. And there's the drop-down box.
Yeah.
I'm getting to that from where?
You have to go back,
And,
Back to the Idaho code.
back to
So, of course, the first thing is the Idaho statutes, and that's the page that we're on. If you spill coffee on your Idaho Constitution or can't find it, don't get up and look for it because it's right there.
Idaho Constitution.
Oh, cool.
If you want to search the state statutes or the Constitution, you can look it up easily from here if you know what the title or the article you want. Title being the statutes, article being the Constitution. Do you want to look at that? Do you want to see what it looks like? By clicking on it?
Sure.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, thank
Yes,
you.
we do. We should.
Yeah.
so there you go.
So where do we find, let's look at our,
Click back.
So if you know a statute that you want to look up and you don't want to wade through all the other stuff, you could just throw it in there and it'll bring it up.
Drop down menu, choose the fans.
It has keyword and everything, so you can
Right here.
search statute.
yeah, you can search site.
So go, now you don't have to use your back button, just go back up with the drop down box. Now session laws, click on that.
Session law.
Mm.
These are a published compilation of bills and resolutions that have been passed and become a law as a result of the action by the current legislature. So you've got your different years there. And the volume of sessions laws is printed in bill format. I'll show you that. Showing striking and underscoring and in the order in which the bills become law. And there are other ways to get to this information that are easier, but this, if you want to see the whole schmack, this is it. So go back up to session laws. Oh, we're there.
Yeah.
Click on 2016 volume 1. No, I don't want you to do that. I'm sorry. Go back. So I want you to go, I'm sorry, go to, because I had to reverse this. Go to Idaho Statutes. Go to Title 54.
Wait,
Title 54.
professions, locations,
Yes.
businesses.
And then go down to Chapter 46.
Hmm.
And then I want you to go to 544602 definitions.
Okay.
So at the bottom of that, you'll see AM period 2016, comma, CH 76, section 2, page 253.
Mhm.
So
No.
In
Where am I
history.
going?
Very bottom under history.
at the very bottom under history, last one.
Oh, there, okay.
Okay, so what that's telling you is that there was an amendment to 544602 2. So if you want to find out about that amendment and what it looked like before they amended it, go back up to session laws. And remember where that's at? Under Idaho laws and rules, session
So you
laws.
gotta write it down. So you gotta go to 2016.
Yes, you'd have to write it down.
Section 2,
Or you just open up a
page
separate-
253.
Okay, are you at session laws?
Yes.
Yes,
Click on it.
okay.
21.
Check on 2016 volume 1.
Okay.
Excuse me, there's
Now we have
600
to scroll
pages.
down to chapter 76, is that right?
Is yours loaded already?
Halfway.
Oh. Yes, you'll want to go down to chapter 70. It's on- it's on- Huh?
Mine's loaded fine till you said something.
Go to where?
So, okay, let's wait for Marla.
What?
Let's wait for Marla.
What page did it say it was on?
Um,
Let's wait for
I
Marla.
think it was 253.
Page 253.
I thought you were asking about it.
Okay, so we waited for you, Marla. Did you get to the PDF?
I'm loading.
I'm
You're still loading?
I'm
too.
loading
Okay.
Me too.
legislation.
Mine's just about done.
Like that.
Well, that's what I have. You've got it in my space.
Mine usually is the one that's behind.
Okay, so now I'm at this
So
page.
the page number was 256.
Is that it?
Yes. So in the Adobe box up there,
Oh, 256.
put 256.
253.
I don't either.
Oh, it says,
Well, yeah, obviously.
oh, it's 250. Okay, I've got it down as Adobe. 256. Adobe page 256. It's the document itself is 253.
Depends on how you're viewing the
Yeah.
PDF. If
Yeah,
you're
I
viewing
don't
the
know.
PDF in some programs, you can actually just enter the page number in. Other programs, like right here, it's not giving you that option. You just have to scroll
I
down.
don't think.
So here's the amendment,
Touchscreen, yeah, touchscreen.
midsection 544602 definitions, and it shows you by striking out what it used to say and what they've changed by putting in an underline. So instead of saying board means the professional license and or registration board respectively, they struck all that out and just said board means a professional licensing registration
53?
Mine should have
It's 253.
practice of
Oh, okay, I was
providers.
just thinking,
Okay, mine's not showing it.
Are you on
try a
Adobe?
different page, because I,
253, right?
253.
yeah, I got it right here.
253.
Right now you're on 249.
Oh, it says
Declaration of
Adobe
purpose.
page 253.
No,
right?
Adobe
it's
page
it's because it has
256.
Title
Okay,
page
256.
and stuff like
Okay,
that.
there's
Mine says
256.
253. What is yours?
The document is
okay.
253.
Oh.
It's Adobe
Oh, there
page
you go.
256.
The document page
257.
Yeah, very confusing.
257.
Just give us the document page.
Okay, do you want me to just use the
Yeah,
document?
because we don't
Everybody
have it.
understands
I don't know what Adobe.
I didn't know
Adobe
that
page.
they all did it different.
My Adobe doesn't.
Okay, so we're on document page 253, section 2. You'll see at the bottom of 252, chapter 76. You'll see it sitting there, and then you just go to the section that they changed, which is section 2, 544602.
Under definition.
Okay, I must be, so where am I at? Where am I going wrong here? There's 257.
Okay, we're not on 257, we're on 253. Go
252.
back.
Getting confused
Okay.
by
Bottom
the
of two-
Adobe
Yeah,
page because
yeah.
Go back
it's
up
counting
to
like
253.
title page.
There you go.
Okay, that's where I was, and then I thought I was on the wrong page. Okay.
We're looking at 544602,
Okay,
I always wondered why
which
we
is from the
like
statute where it was amended.
okay.
So we're looking at.
I always wondered how you
Yeah,
found
this
those
is what we're shooting
little
at.
places.
Right there.
So some
That's
of them
how-
have a lot and some of them have none.
Well, yes, the ones that have a lot, they go back to previous years, and some are so early you can't get them. You have to go up to the library itself.
And I went back to like 1994.
Yeah, and that's not on there. I think it goes back to 99
Where's
or
the
98.
library? The whole yours?
The state
The
library.
State House, probably the legislative.
Downstairs,
I used to
backside.
get specifications across the street over all the
Is it LSO?
I've never
Legislature?
been there. I don't know.
I think it's in the LSO office, legislative, because they've got a huge library.
Oh,
On the
Yeah.
backside.
Legislative services, it's up like, yeah. You kind of have to weave and bob
think
around to
it's-
find
I
it.
think it's
It
directly below the Attorney General.
might be, yeah. It's on the north side, the north side.
I wonder if our Attorney
Yeah.
General's gonna plead the fifth.
He's an idiot. Probably doesn't.
Okay, so does everybody see how that works?
yes, thank you.
So, chapter 76 refers to the chapter in chapter 1, or in volume 1. So go back, hit your back button. So you'll see volume 1 and volume 2. And because it was page 253,
It's gonna be
250.
volume 2.
okay, I'm using Adobe again.
Receipt, well,
Okay, Idaho session laws,
Now, what do you see in
Volume
this?
one or two?
chapter 246 is in volume 1. Okay, so is everybody on Idaho sessions laws 2016?
Yes.
Okay, volume 1 is chapters 1 through 236.
Clicker?
So no, that's where chapter 76 in the amendment,
Oh, yeah.
you look for the chapter there. So it said chapter 76.
This chapter 76 will be in volume 1.
So do we need to go back through that again? Do you want to go back through it again?
I'm gonna wait 10 looking for something.
It's
and then I'll
confusing
tell you.
because we're talking about Title 54, Chapter 46, but in the volume, it's Chapter 76.
You do that on purpose.
Of course. I have
Well-
no idea.
One is in the statutes, one is in
Right.
the session. This is basically a session report and what happened in the session for that year.
And what
Very
got
valuable.
changed.
This is awesome.
So the history then is only relating to the session report. The history underneath the title,
It's referring to the amendments.
right, which is in the session report, which is the Idaho sessions.
Session
Laws.
Law.
Yes. That's excellent. Thank you. I was
Thanks for the
wondering about
headache,
that
Karen.
quagmire.
Hey, I'm here to serve.
No, I know.
So the sequence to check an amendment, session laws, the year, the volume that has the appropriate chapter, and then go to that page. Okay, so now we're going to go back to administrative rules. And we have already gone over that previously, administrative rules in the page and how that works. The Senate rules and the House rules, the next two in the Dropbox, they're rules by which both the Senate and House will conduct business for the session, and there's a lot of them. And I don't know if they change that every year. Just go ahead and click on Senate rules. And I mean, it's just very lengthy. You can do this, you can't do that. It has to be in this order. It's really long. And if you want to take the time to read all the rules,
I actually printed them all off.
do
they
they
follow
stay the
these?
same?
Yeah,
They're the same every year?
so yeah, they're Mason's rules. Is that what you're talking about?
The Senate and House rules?
They don't go by like Robert's rules, they go by Mason's rules, which is weird kind of. And we were talking with Mark about that, and he said, that's not in your Constitution. I think, didn't you remember him saying that?
I didn't take the Constitution
Folker
class.
told me that that's what they use, the one mostly Mason rules.
So what'd you ask?
Do they follow these?
Heather said something about they changed a lot of those right away, the very first thing, so they can keep going on.
You posed the question, Karen. You asked, you don't know how long they, or how often they change them, or,
She said they stay the same.
so that's a great question.
Yeah.
How often do they?
How would we find that?
So they go by Mason's rules as far as how they run things, but maybe their own rules. Do they have their own?
I don't know, I remember Heather saying something about the first thing we speak out there was they were changing the rules. So
Yeah, but that's she's she's talking about rules,
Yeah,
agency rules. She's not talking about the rules of the Senate.
every session is a new body. So
Yeah.
I don't know how it is in Idaho, but most likely, the beginning of every single session, they vote on these. So these rules could stay the same, could change, but it doesn't matter whether they stay the same or change. They usually vote on them as a new legislative body.
Well, but is that
They
these
approve them.
rules, or is it the rules that are coming out of the
The
departments?
agencies, yeah,
The
agency
agencies.
firms. Yeah, the Senate rules. I think the rules of the Senate, the way the Senate runs, that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I think that stays the same.
Well, but they vote on them every time.
Okay, that
They
makes
basically
sense.
approve them because they're a new
That's
legislative
all right.
body. So they'll
No
say,
big deal.
if there's no rule changes, they still vote on them.
Right.
Because they're all basically agreeing, okay, this is how we are going to govern our body.
During this legislative session.
So how would we find out if these have been changed?
It's usually going to be one of the very first actions.
So we'd go back to where we were just at in the session laws.
There's a
Probably in
place-
2016.
There's actually a place to look for that. I can show it. It comes up later.
We're getting there.
That's okay. But what you brought up, I think, is interesting. What if they don't follow them?
Right.
Then what happens?
Then what do we do?
I don't know. I know Heather used a rule. I can't even remember what it was that nobody ever used.
Oh, it was Rule
Remember
45.
Mark was talking
It's
about
the nuclear
House or
option.
Senate? 45?
She's house, right?
she is not.
Yeah.
And they said, because I remember
We didn't
Scott
go to the
saying,
house rules.
we don't use that
Yeah.
rule, and she said, it's a
Oh, I
rule.
got-
He said, well, we don't use it. She said, I'm using it.
It's
Any
the
senator may
nuclear-
request a call of the Senate, and the call shall be ordered by the president if at least two other senators rise in support of the request, but a call is not in order after the roll call vote has been ordered.
Reading from
This
the
is,
house.
that's the Senate.
Sense
This
to
is
me.
the House. It would probably be the same in the House.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
No, Rule 45 is call for bills or memorials or resolutions.
In the house.
So did it have something to do with they left
With
a
the-
rule laying or left a bill laying around too long and somehow
Yeah.
she managed to?
Says when any bill, memorial, or resolution has been in the hands of any committee for 5 days, any member of the House may, at the 5th or 7th order of business upon the floor of the House, call for the same, whereupon it shall be the duty of said committee to report said bill.
So that was what we were trying to get Miss Christy Perry
Your house is right at that.
when she was sitting on our SBAC bill in her Ways and Means.
You were trying to get her to.
We were trying to get it read and get them to vote on it. And so because then if you force them to take a vote and read it, then you see who is friendly and who isn't. And so when we brought it up, the look on the they were like nobody does that. And I'm like, well, if you're not willing to do it, then get out. I'm telling you, that's what we want to have happen. But now we know they were probably all swimming in that public pool. So
At
they weren't
least we
used
know
for
about it though.
Larry's public pool? What?
yeah.
So the board of directors has to be sitting there to make sure that they aren't being naughty.
Maybe. I think we should be able to track them. They track my kids. I think that's the bill we should propose.
Well, I think
Tracking
we ought to
devices.
put a collar and a recording device around their necks, or the end of
Yes.
their necks.
I love it.
Well, we know
It's-
Ron Nate kind of tried that. They're real sensitive about it.
Yeah, it should be on for their entire term of office.
I like that.
Yeah, just like the football
2
players. Let's
years,
mic them
4
up.
years. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, go back up to Idaho laws and rules, top of the
Squirrel
page.
moment.
We don't have very many of those.
And the last thing in the drop box is joint rules. And this would probably be worth reading. It explains the definitions for concurrent or joint resolutions of which HJR, no, you don't need to go back because it's up at the top. It's always up at the top, but not that page. So where do you find Idaho statutes on that page?
Oh, where do you find? I want to see.
Okay, she's way off somewhere else.
Yeah,
Where do you
go
find
back.
Idaho statute?
No.
Somewhere on
No,
There's no drop
no. Where do you find the Idaho statutes on that page? Okay, where do you find the Idaho statutes?
there.
I just told you where it was a few minutes ago.
All
Oh,
right.
right
Okay.
there, code. No.
Idaho code.
Idaho.
Idaho code.
It's totally different. Should say.
Should say statutes.
IC is Idaho code statutes. It's the same thing. IC. There you go. Now, we're doing the last item in the Dropbox on Idaho laws and rules. Up, up, up. Down, down, down. Where it says joint rules. There you go.
This election has
Okay.
a completely different meaning
So-
in Colorado and Oregon.
Click on that.
These are joint,
This is-
joint rules. Has a different meaning.
No.
They have recreational use.
So this has your definitions for resolution, concurrent resolution, joint resolutions, proclamations. So that tells you what the difference is between like HJR or HCR or that kind of stuff. So if you're wondering what something means,
Now we can go.
you can go to this. Oh, Joint Rule 29, or excuse me, 20, I can't see. Constitutional amendments. It requires a joint resolution. So that's what HJR 5 is.
So since we're on this topic, what's the general feeling of HJR5? I mean, how are, we
I'm
know what the
getting-
talking heads are saying. You know,
I'm
what's-
getting mixed. Some people say yes. The group I was with last night, yes, yes, they understood.
Your photos with last night, but
Well, I have to say if Otter and Wasden are no, that clearly makes me a yes.
And that was one of the points brought up last night. If he votes for no for it, then I'm voting yes.
Well, and he usually keeps his mouth shut, and he's usually behind the scenes. So for him to actually come out and be really vocal, I was like, oh, he didn't like this.
No, he
He
doesn't like
used to
it.
support it. Otter did supported it full on. He's told legislature to support it. But thanks to you, I was at the Elmore County Central Committee meeting last night, and the same question that we've been asking, what good is it going to do this when the legislature doesn't do their job in the first place? And somebody asked Pete Nielsen that. He was there last night. And so he was going, well, that's a really good question. So I said, but this is why we need it. And I used your...
That's a separate issue.
Oh, I know. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. But when I explain the court case, they're going, oh. And Nielsen didn't even explain it like that. I'm wrong. I think he was a legislature and he didn't even get it.
Is he running again?
No, he lost to
He
a
lost it,
way
okay.
liberal
Yeah.
Megan Blanks was her name. No, she's
So Karen, I got a
nasty.
question. Looking at the statement of purpose for HGR 5, it says
You looking at what?
HGR 5.
You're back to HGR 5.
Yeah, because I'm trying to understand this. so I
Okay.
can come up
Let me
with
get
it.
to it. I got a copy. Okay.
So it says the amendment empowers the legislature to approve or reject administrative rules.
Right.
They already have that power.
They do.
Yeah, do.
And the difference is this protects the executive department from thumbing their nose at the legislature like they did that brought on the case of Arnell versus Meade. They openly defied the legislature on a statute and said, we're not going to do that.
How does this wording do that?
It prevents the governor from vetoing
How does this? I don't understand how this.
Right
prevents
here.
it from doing it.
right here.
Oh, so that's the actual bill. I'm just looking at
This is the bill.
Okay.
This is the bill. And that is the biggie thing about it is the legislative approval or rejection of a rule cannot be subject to a gubernatorial veto. So it prevents the governor from coming in and saying, well, I don't agree with you. I'm going to veto your rejection of that rule. I want that rule in there. He can't do that.
And it puts it in the Constitution.
Right.
Now it's a statute, not a constitutional amendment.
No, this makes it a constitutional amendment.
Now it's a statute,
Right.
Yeah.
but this puts it in the Constitution.
So that's
So then they can't take it to court like they did before.
right.
Now it's subject to being taken to court by any agency that doesn't
Which is what
that the
happened.
legislature.
And which the court upheld. You don't have the right to do that. You are the executive branch. They have authority over your rulemaking. And that's why this came, they didn't want it to happen again.
Unless the governor did his job and went to the health and welfare and said, you follow the legislator's intent or you're fired.
You knock
But if
it
the
off.
governor's not willing to do that,
Right.
then there's no accountability.
You don't have the separation of powers the way it should be. So,
That was why I found it interesting. I didn't get that.
well,
I mean, I got
and
it.
you know, remember what
about-
I told you when I did the first class. This is when you hear all these opinions and all these ideas, just block it out and come to the library and say, oh, this is how you fix that card. This is what it says, okay? Because people have a tendency to drag in all kinds of extraneous ideas and thoughts, and they don't not really understanding the thing themselves because they haven't read the book. You know, it's going to foul you up in your thinking. So just hold all of it out and go to the book and say, oh, this is what it says.
But this one is pretty easy because it's not 500 pages.
You-
Right.
Yeah, yeah. The one sentence that clarifies the whole
This is an
thing.
easy one.
Get out of the squirrel cesspool.
Yeah, and I can show you. I mean, it'd take a while to show you how you can go down and to a specific rule. They're telling you something, and you go down. You have to search forever, or maybe in several different places, to point the rule in their face and say, "Look, read this," because they don't know.
So like,
No,
like
The
what
agencies
Heather
don't
did,
know. I don't know what Heather did.
Well, calling for something to be brought forward to
Oh, yeah.
The nuclear option, Rule 45. Yeah.
Okay, so we
Probably not
done
very
with
many
that?
anyway.
Okay, so our next one is publications, the top. And this is kind of interesting. Go to Idaho Citizen Legislature. This is for us, I
What
guess.
is that?
What?
It explains the legislative process, definitions, explains different types of legislation,
citizen
publications,
legislators.
Idaho's Citizen Legislature.
Click on it.
So it just kind of has a thing for the person and explaining things and what's JFAC. A lot of people don't know what JFAC is. What's the Legislative Council? I thought you were watching online.
He has
No,
you
I'm
minimized.
doing
All of this
mine
stuff is
too.
under legislator.
Oh.
He has your little window
I
minimized.
was
Idaho
busy looking at
legislature,
something. I
all
wasn't
this
paying
stuff
attention
is
for that one little.
You just
clip.
lost your free card for a
one
meeting.
clip.
Yeah, this is one clip.
It's so easy. It happens to me all the time.
Idaho citizen legislature.
So, it's just if you don't know what's down farther, it's got definitions of legislation, amendments, bills,
Oh,
concurrent
really?
resolutions, engrossment. I don't even know what that is. When a bill has been amended, it is engrossed by incorporating the changes specified in the amendment into the bill. Oh, okay. So if you don't know what something is, this is kind of a resource where you can look and see if it's in there. And I don't know why you have to go back on this one because the stuff isn't at the top on this one.
What's this flying out there?
Okay, publications. The next one is how a bill becomes a law, and that explains, it's pretty self-explanatory. The bill's introduced, it's got a first reading, reports of standing committees, second reading, third reading, Senate action, and on House bills, committee of the whole. So that tells you just kind of the process by which a bill becomes a law.
Same page.
Publications, how a bill becomes a law. What are you typing? You're doing your
I'm
Facebook.
taking
We're
care
in
of
class,
business.
Ray.
I'm taking care of
Ray,
business.
we're in class.
So busted.
You're
I
gonna
know.
make me stand in the corner?
You
And
know,
the sad part is, everyone's gonna know I'm busted.
I try to be transparent.
Just don't say my last name.
You're just being a little bit more rowdy today than
I
last class.
know.
What's up with that?
Are you gonna
Are
make
we-
him
want
stand in the
dinner?
corner?
I'm thinking about it.
Governor can, he's paying attention to us.
Okay, publications. Now, you don't need to click on types of legislation. That, for some reason, goes back to the Idaho Citizens link. But go to the legislation drafting manual. Click on that.
Jeez, sounds intense.
Everything you want to know about how bills and laws are created. It has very specific language on procedures, and this would be really good reading. And at least it's not 500 pages.
My dad created a law and got it passed.
Yeah, anybody can do this. And if you wanted to create a bill, this is where you go. Yeah.
So the first link, how a bill becomes law, is kind of the elementary version of this legislative drafting.
The first link.
Well, there was that one link that we were looking at,
How a bill becomes a law.
how a bill becomes
It
a
Oh,
law.
this tells you how to actually write the bill.
So the how a bill becomes a law is the citizens pat on the head, send you away.
Yeah.
Drafting manual.
That's where
This-
this
you-
is.
yes.
Neat.
This is what Carl does.
If these procedures are not followed in a bill,
This is what we were looking for
there
a
it
couple of
is.
years ago.
Right,
There it
it's
is.
in the library. It's right there in the library.
We
So-
thought,
And
we
it's the
thought
concise
Roseanne
version.
Wilsey could help. us
Right?
with
Yes.
it.
Okay, so go down to page. We're doing the document page.
It's only 500
Ah.
pages long.
I don't know what to tell you.
This
It's
is?
the second page, page 2.
You going back from there? or-
No, we're still
To
on the
top of
PDF.
document content.
Contents. And I want you to see, remember we were talking about every bill has a statement of purpose and fiscal note?
Mhm.
That tells you it's got to be there. And then it gives you an example of amending a statute with emergency, repealing a statute, effective dates,
Mhm.
rule rejected,
Look, there's a whole section on words, word use guide.
and that's,
The
remember?
tricky
Yeah,
ones
like the difference
and words in
between-
Oh
depth.
my gosh.
May and shall.
Do
Page
Uh-huh.
30.
we have to go see what, can we have
I wanna
time
go
to see the
see
tricky ones?
May and shall.
Shit.
Now, those are all, the table of contents is hyperlinked, so you can just click on
Yes.
it.
Oh,
Yes, it
Oh,
should go
yes, it
yellow.
was.
And you just click
I
on it.
saw that, it did, okay, I didn't know that's
That's,
what that was.
yes. And then don't worry about scrolling back up. Just hit the back button and it'll take you back up to the contents.
Now I'm clicking, oh, there it is. I wonder if There's a definition for is in here.
Backlink. Backlink takes you back out of the doc. Did you hit
Right
the
there.
yellow?
It is.
To get, did you hit, did you hit the yellow
Well,
to
it
get
doesn't
to
have
the
a
page?
definition, but it's listed.
You have
under
to
the
hit the yellow to
preferred
get to the
word,
page.
rather than
So I-
the avoid
Okay.
words.
The
Okay, well, I
same
thought
is
it was the
hereby
tricky word
is
section.
It
Up,
could be.
up.
set forth
Down.
state.
There are different
Okay,
choices of
hit
words
one of
like
those.
is
Go
or
to
something
cursor.
else. So
Yeah.
you get something else.
Now
So
use
what
your
it
back
says
button.
not to use instead of is the same as hereby.
Oh,
Really?
Really?
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
the what?
Subsequent
special
to
computer.
is avoid.
I don't know. All other
After
documents
is
maybe have this.
Yeah, because remember the last time there, we read over something that said, you know, bills have to be written in the common language, not legalese stuff. So I wonder if that's probably related to that requirement.
Set forth means state though?
So if we as a SEAL team ever want to draft a piece of legislation, we know where to go. Right?
Or you could ask our cousin Carl in South Carolina.
I don't think so.
That's some body language. I
All of this
didn't
is
look
He
like
writes-
Idaho.
He writes
We
legislation.
what? No.
I have
This is
so
our
many
library in
bills.
Idaho. This is what we will use.
We need to write a bill to get rid of some bills.
I like
So
that, Bill.
hit your back button
She's having none of the school.
and then publications, drop down box, SOP fiscal note, drafting guide.
What?
Right? You're like reading.
Look there.
He's still not
Trying.
following along.
Trying to.
Huh?
No, I'm with you.
He is. He's just
She's
I just had
engrossed.
to pull myself away.
queuing in on some
It
stuff.
was
He
a scroll
wants.
moment.
He's gonna.
I just got-
That's why he's here to say, you guys need to read this. You need to go back and do this.
So when it comes to the statement of purpose or the intent and the fiscal notes, which is required on every bill, this tells you what must be contained in that. So this is really important because as we know, the statute has, the rules have to meet the intent of the statute or the law. You can't deviate from outside of that.
So I wonder what happens if it says there is no fiscal impact, but then there is a fiscal impact, and that was.
They'll throw the bill out.
They can
What's
throw
that?
common core out, and there's money
A big
attached.
damn
Was that a bill?
Yeah. No, it was a rule.
Okay, this is a
So it
bill.
doesn't matter.
This is a bill.
Gotcha. Point taken.
But it would be interesting, I think, and you maybe already know, I've already done it, gone back to
I'm gonna.
the,
I'm gonna go back.
that would be, you know, the education stuff in here is such a monster. It is a literal monster, but it would really be interesting to backtrack all of that this way. And,
Well,
and we're gonna come to a place where I'll show you where they say things to find out who's saying what and what it is they're doing. And then see how much of this process they follow. Because, you know, that health and welfare case I went through at the end of the last class,
Yeah.
they were so off base from where the bill was.
Okay.
And that's what they do.
Well, that's my gut feeling. I just don't know how to dig for it yet.
There's a way to dig for it.
I'm gonna find it. My goal.
Okay, so publications. Now, I've never done this. I think you have. Go down to committee testimony,
Yep.
and it tells you how to do it. Did you read this before you went and testified?
No,
It says wear deodorant.
it does.
Oh, good. I was.
Where are you at?
Okay, publications,
Oh,
committee testimony, and so this is this is how you need to behave and what they want to know and what you should include, and then after you testify, you go get a drink and calm down and smoke a joint.
Nice.
Says that all in here?
No, that's in the
Publications-
Oregon one.
Publications, committee testimony. Is that nerve-wracking to get up there and do that?
Should you read the bill?
Well, the first one I ever testified against was on the education task force. And I was in the Lincoln Auditorium and it was live and it was full, standing room only. And it had the beeper going, taking you 3 minutes down. So yeah, it was nerve wracking, but it was my kid. You mess with my kid.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever it takes.
It should
If it's
be,
something you know,
because you're-
it's because I testified on agriculture and water And even the insurance exchange, that I wasn't at all
I
nervous. I was
testified and
mad.
had the word.
Yeah, it's almost like
Yeah.
if you know your material and you know what you're going to say, it seems like it was pretty easy.
And you're talking to your employees, you're not talking to.
That's what,
Exactly.
yeah.
And
That'd
when
be
I did
nice
that-
if they
I don't think
when
it
did
says
that
it on
to
here.
They followed up on a lot of that on the same section that I put.
Oh,
This doesn't say that they're employees. They say, remember, they appreciate your interest
They appreciate you.
in the political process, not in what you have to say, but your interest in the process.
Thank you very much. Now sit down and
When we
shut
went
up.
in, on the land issue, there was some kids from high school, Bora, and they were just glued to them like crazy because they were young kids.
They were testifying.
Mm-hmm. How they love the U.S. forces.
Mm. Yeah.
Be courteous. That would eliminate me right there.
Mm-hmm. I get mad, so then I forget where I'm at. I
Yes, we kind of know that, but.
All right. Well, there's your helpful hints for testifying. So back to publications and your 2016 legislative directory. That just has phone numbers, session dates, emails, committees. If you want to email somebody, pictures, map of the Capitol.
Well, I sent this out to everybody.
Legislative directory.
This one.
So if everybody doesn't have one,
Where's that?
if they have a hard copy.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing that they allow.
I
That'd
didn't
be
get-
nice to have.
Yeah.
When you open this up, it's a PDF in
Yeah.
the same format,
Yeah.
so you can
Yeah.
print them out and bind them.
This is in our Mrs. Powell Facebook group.
This is,
Just got his
but this is kind of nice when you're walking, you're like, who is that guy?
Where's
It
his
is.
mugshot?
That's right.
Especially when you're talking to him and he just turns around and walks away.
Yeah, they don't have a picture of Brandon Hicks is behind.
So Vicky,
She did that to you?
He,
oh,
Fred Martin
Do you have
did
one of
that
those?
to us.
Yeah, Martin
Those
did
books?
that.
yeah, that's mine. I usually have.
Oh,
I usually
okay.
actually buy 3 or 4 of them. I have them all over the place. I keep one in my purse and one in my bag, one at my desk, one in my car. Yeah,
so you
they're
know
handies.
about
I'll get out.
page 35 on land resources, and then it's got general government costs in here.
Nope.
You didn't know that?
What are you talking about?
In the
Okay.
directory.
Whoa. Wait. So everybody's on the PDF except Vicky.
mine's
Well, I'm not.
loading.
Under publications, where you go?
Publication
Bill's
legislative
waiting for us.
directory.
Oh, there.
No, I thought she was talking about.
Oh,
I'm on a different one.
costs and stuff.
I don't see
How to
this.
contact federal representatives. Okay, that's
You gotta
just
go
the
to the
directory. So
state house.
hit your back button. We're out of there.
But it was
We're outta here?
Yeah, we're going
She
somewhere
has
else.
her
Oh, yeah, the
and they didn't have that one
Are
ready.
you back on
until
the
February.
where prior sessions is, or excuse me, publications?
I think so. Aren't they like $2 or something?
More like
What now?
4 or 5.
Or-
Publications,
Publications, okay.
general fund budget monitor. Yep.
Still loading.
This one's 2 pages.
Hmm.
Ooh, look at all his money.
And
Yeah,
I,
see on this one, they have carryover. So that means it's not spend it or lose it.
I don't understand how to read this. So anything you want to add?
Oh,
Spend it
well,
or
this is just a, you know, income, expenditures kind of thing.
Publications.
I'm still on that.
Yeah, you.
All it is. But you see, item number 2 there is carryover. So 1.3, I'm assuming that's million that did not get spent last year, okay, is still in the bank. And we got 50.5 million this year. So those 2 add up to 51.8 million for fiscal year 2017. So it's not spend it or lose it unless it's federal dollars. If
Okay.
it's federal dollars, if they don't spend them, that has to get turned back to the feds. Or
'Cause they're broke.
in this case, if you don't spend it, it comes off of next year's income coming in.
They don't increase it as much.
Well, it's not an increase. In this case here, if these were federal dollars, okay, last year you did not spend $1.3 million. This year we're giving you 50.5 million. So 50.5 minus 1.3 is what you're going to get from the feds this year.
Well, because they didn't spend all that.
So
Right.
they're
We don't need it.
That's right.
incentivized.
That's
to
So
right.
that is
Right.
use it or lose it. Yeah, they incentivize waste.
It's like our
That's what we did at the
ATF
damn
people here.
laboratory. It was
Oh, yes.
ridiculous. A month before the end of the fiscal year, it's like, how many, hundreds of felt tip markers can you buy? Can you go out and buy, more reams of copy paper?
Well, that's
Oh, it's
why
ridiculous.
the Forest Service buries their chainsaws and stuff after
Yes.
they're done,
Yeah.
so they get new stuff.
My grandfather was a professional mover. He had a contract with some government agency in Pasadena to go move furniture at the end of the fiscal year, up and down different floors, rearrange things, and then you come back at the new fiscal year and put everything back. And they pay him more.
Electric,
We-
everybody got a desk, whether they needed one or not.
There you go.
We
That's more
did
use
that
it or
in
lose it, yeah.
where I worked, in the department I worked in. We did that. We had
That is
money and
insane.
played games.
Absolutely.
It worked. We had more money.
But to what end?
What-
I mean, what's the
Yeah,
money?
it's a waste of money.
what
Yeah,
debt
what's
is
the
our-
No, we spent the money, but we hid it so they wouldn't find it. Anyway, that's
So,
another
that
story.
19 trillion is probably.
They got all these
Would you
extra
speak into this
offices, one
microphone,
new
please?
piece of offices.
She's already speaking.
It says-
The microphone.
It says right here, talking to Ray
Yeah, but
Coon.
this
Talking to
one
Ray
here-
Coon. Talking to Ray Coon.
It says Ray Coon is talking. They're going to think I'm saying all that. Thanks a lot.
So we done with that page?
Yes.
Okay.
Just
well,
raise your voice up a little
hit,
bit.
hit the back button.
There's a baseball accent.
Okay, publications. General fund budget monitor.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
where we were.
okay, I'm in the
That's where
wrong
we
place. Okay,
were.
I'm sorry. Go back one. Go back.
Go back
Fiscal
to-
facts. Publications. Fiscal
Fiscal
facts.
Sing at the bottom.
This is my pie chart, I think.
How is that different from the other?
So these are live.
This is
here.
where the money goes.
These are the actual facts.
Yeah,
Mhm.
64% of our
Oh, there's a
budget
booklet
to
on that too?
education.
I don't know if there's a
62.
booklet, but
It looks like
It is a booklet. Yeah, you can print this up and find it just like that.
so education is on Adobe page 21. Well, I guess I'll have to do it my
Chart
thing and then tell you
9.
which one.
Chart 9,
Unemployment
The general
rate.
market.
Page 35.
Okay.
So there's education. Or since 2006, how much was spent where?
Yeah, well, this doesn't have page number. So what page should we be at?
35.
Okay, 35.
Yeah, the blue boxes.
Oh, there we
The
go.
ones with
Oh,
the
yeah.
numbers in
Here's
it.
how-
Billions.
Money, okay.
It is a booklet.
Then on page 57, you have public safety. So you have Department of Corrections, Juvenile Corrections, State Police. How much was spent there? And you'll see from 2006 on the graph on the left, how much it's increased, even though, who said that the crime rate was down? Who was that? How much more we're spending on criminals and corrections.
Wonder how much we're spending on Muslims in here.
Obama says, oh, a lot.
So he's letting them out.
so isn't it says that public assistance received by region,
Where you at?
Which one?
chart 52.
Page 52.
Chart 52, I don't know.
You're on
It's page 52. It's page, there's, I think there's
Pie chart
2
there?
pages.
Wow.
There's
Okay.
2 pages to each page because it's
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at
I
this.
see. That's why you're saying
Isn't that
find
an
it like the other one.
interesting picture they made there? Assume this was Pac-Man. Okay, you have non-public assistance citizens eating, the Idahoans receiving. Oh, okay, no, I read that wrong. Sorry. Forget about
Opposite.
You're getting
that. Yeah.
sad.
Health and welfare
79%
benefits
of us
program,
don't need
80
public assistance.
80
Yeah, no,
million.
Yeah, and Canyon County is one of the highest consumers of benefits.
Canyon County is?
Baby,
That's because, oh yeah, that's because there's all those,
Migrant farmers.
yeah.
Well, Ada
I hadn't
County's
heard him
gonna
call
start.
that before, but yeah.
Oh, you're just here to help.
So you're not familiar with this book?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so we did 35. Did we do page 35?
That was education, right?
But the land. Okay, let me find what the real page is because there's some stuff on land resources.
That's 10-year appropriation, friend.
Education, that's 35.
Okay, 63. Go to 63 as your natural resources.
Did you see the flow chart there, Dave?
So you see the land board, parks and water resources. I thought you might be interested in that.
50,
30.
30.
63. We're on 63. So
I'm scrolling.
natural resources.
Right.
63. 33.
And then the next page has land ownership maps.
Department
Idaho
of
land
Division of
ownership by
Environmental
state,
Quality,
private, tribal.
66.3.
Oh, wow.
Of
And then
land
by
board.
county. So I'm doing land
64.
resources with Vicki because she's got an interest in the lands issue. So I'm just showing her how much Idaho loses to.
What's interesting on these maps, if you take a map of natural resources and overlay over these ownership maps, very ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Who owns the resources?
Well, go to page 64,
Yes.
Yeah.
and then you see on the left just how bad it is.
If you take that and overlay it over a natural resources map, you'll see that that's blocked up a lot. of
Yes.
natural resources.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've locked up, yeah, and Idaho is one of the most natural, highest.
Yes, and that's why they're
Yeah.
after us.
What would be great is to go back
We have
through
billions and
and
billions of
see
dollars
how
locked
this
up.
has changed.
Right north
over-
of me.
Wasn't
Over
that
Butch
in
Otter
sort of the
Senior.
southern issue of the Malheur business?
Go back and get
Well,
this from-
I don't know, but there's probably an earlier one somewhere.
Probably
Yeah,
right.
I heard something about that.
I think they have to do it every year.
There's some-
It's
You
interesting.
heard they all got off.
We should annex that part of Montana.
not set free.
So go to page 85. And then this shows you your department or division spending.
How much the office of the governor.
I've had enough of this piece.
You're leaving?
Yeah, I got a family event to go to.
Dinner?
Yes, it is actually.
So the governors must go to, his must be part of the, where's our state board and state?
Look at this, the military division. I wonder what the hell that is.
National Guard?
Say hi to him when you see him.
Okay. 65.8
What voice?
million?
You just, I mean, it just kind of gives you a picture of the waste of money that we're paying for that keeps us in debt and needing more taxes laid on us. Like, well, let's raise your registration fees. Well, why don't you take some money from this place and pay for it?
Yeah.
Instead of, why are you, I am so drained from all the fees and taxes that I pay. It drives me crazy. You know, and the liquor division, why don't we privatize that?
Yeah, why do we have one?
Yeah, why do you even
I know.
have one?
Why do we have a
state liquor store. Why isn't it sold in Albertsons?
Why do we have a commission on aging?
Because they want control of it and it doesn't make any sense.
They need to have a death panel.
Well, look, and we're spending what, 13 on species conservation?
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, the waste is, and then this is how much they're pulling in from cigarettes, beer, sales tax, lottery on the next page, 87.
But why is that, once again, the military division?
Is that
it's
National Guard?
significantly higher than everything else.
They got to get those FEMA buildings
Look
up.
at the military division. You know, these are all down in the onesies, twosies. You jump to the military division and you're into the tens of millions
Yeah.
of dollars. I mean, look at that. It's higher. It's probably higher than the rest of it combined.
7.9 million, yeah.
So if you go to 88, you'll see how the distribution of liquor division earnings went.
I'll drink to
Page
that.
88.
No fun. Cities, counties.
I guess they're using it to get money for.
Yeah, that's why they're doing it. Not for schools though.
Yeah, schools is on the
Oh,
right.
yeah, not very
It's that little
much.
green slice.
A little teeny
That
side.
teeny tiny one.
Yeah.
school.
There's a lottery on here?
Well, I was just thinking of that.
The lottery is up higher. Lottery is 17 million. Oh, that was 13. 17 million.
Oh, here it is, right here.
Liquor.
Yeah.
Tax or whatever.
California did something interesting with education in the lottery. When we voted in a lottery, well, so there was state money spent for public education. The whole sales deal on the lottery to get it implemented was because all the lottery money would add to the school budget. Well, what they actually did is they voted in the lottery, and then all of the revenue that the lottery generated, they subtracted from the total school budget. So the state school budget stayed flat. And so when they subtracted that money off, that money went somewhere else. I have no idea where it went. But instead of using the money to add to the school budget, because spending $50 per student per day or whatever the hell it was not enough. Yeah. So it was more state hanky-panky.
Man, oh man.
So if you go to page 94, it just has, as you scroll down through there, it just has some interesting demographics on population estimates, economy, education, employment, labor, social welfare, health, transportation.
State facts and
Defense.
demographics.
Yeah, it's just some demographics on the state.
So are we gonna be finishing up at 6? I just need to tell Randy her.
Um,
I don't see demographics on page 94.
Yeah. Wow. Commodities,
I
that's
could
interesting.
cut some things out and we could do it.
Oh, well,
I just,
Oh.
he just
Members of
So
the
anyway,
Senate.
it's an interesting book, a lot of facts and information on different things that you can spend your night reading to put you to sleep.
How do you get around so easy?
Because I work for the state.
You did?
I worked for the state for a long time.
You don't do that now.
I saw too many other Scots get beaten up,
So that just should be.
and then I wasn't very compliant. I did the wrong thing.
Whistleblower?
That doesn't work.
I was, yeah.
Doesn't work.
You didn't work for the Senate.
That was with DCAS.
I got tired of seeing people that were good get removed, and tired of people seeing that were evil stay.
Mhm.
Okay, so publications, legislative perspectives. There's nothing interesting about that. It's just a newsletter. So go to prior sessions.
That's at the top?
So if you had something that happened in 2007, it's there. You can go all the way to the 1998 sessions at the bottom. The format of those is a little bit different, but you know, if you have a question, like when I was asked about HJR2, well, that was in 2014, went right to it. So if you know what year a bill is passed, it's very easy to get through to it. So there are some things we haven't gone. So go to 2016 session, and then we already covered the 2016 legislation. That's how we've gotten to some bills. And then we've done the session laws. Those are the volumes. If there's a amendment you want to look up. Now the signed die report means those bills without assigning a day for a further meeting or hearing adjourning for an indefinite period. So just click on that, the signed die report for 2016. Everybody's on 2016, right?
mhm.
Okay, so go to, let me find it this way. Let's see. Go to page 7. Scroll down to page 7.
Okay. Rules review.
That's the rules review. So at the beginning of each legislative session, the legislature takes up the important task of reviewing all pending fee, and temporary rules that have been promulgated by the state agency. So the promulgation was that process that we went through in the first class, where you saw, "Dear Senator, I love you," and then the formal letter, and then This is what we want to change. This is what it looks like now, and this is what we want it to look like, and this is what is okay. The permission to the legislature, we want to change this. So that's what they're talking about. So during the 2016 legislative session, the Senate and the House were each asked to review 174 individual rulemaking documents. And when you stop to think about it, they're just starting up the legislative session. That's a lot.
It's really a lot.
This figure is down from 194 dockets reviewed.
How many pages would you say an average docket is?
It varies.
Are you talking about
Yeah.
the journal or
We're
the
talking
docket?
5 or
It's-
50?
No,
Dockets that they're
it can
specifically
be-
talking about 174 individual rulemaking dockets.
Depending on which one it is, like the oil and gas ones were probably 50 some
This
pages.
could be thousands. and
Yeah.
thousands
Yeah.
of pages.
And
Yeah.
so
That's a
it's
problem.
not HRJ 5 that's the problem, that everybody mixes this problem into it. This is the problem. It's an impossibility for the legislature to do a good job on reviewing all the rules that are being thrown at them right at the beginning of the session. So I think somebody had written something you commented on that, this doesn't solve the problem. That was correct.
Right.
It doesn't. This is a separate issue that has to be
Right,
corrected.
so this is one of the things that we were wondering as a CSG team, if we could like maybe write our own bill or get somebody to, because you talk to any legislator and they're like, there's no way we can read all this.
Well, they
We have
put them
no
on
idea.
committees. Sometimes they put them on committees that they aren't familiar with anything that they do. So I
Right.
mean, it's not like, if
They
you put
weren't
me
part
on
of the
agriculture resources, yeah. But then you really, you can read the dockets, and then they have the rule changes and the new rules, the negotiated rules, all like highlighted. But if you don't read all of it, you don't really know what the whole context is and why they're doing this
You
and
need
why.
to know what all the other rules that aren't even in the
Yeah,
document.
yeah. So it's not
Right.
enough to just read the rule changes and go, yeah, that works. But you have to read everything,
Mhm.
And then you got to find somebody that understands it so you can figure it out, because you can't. There's no way,
Major.
If it hadn't been for Judy and oil and gas stuff, I wouldn't have. I
Is this
wouldn't
where
have.
they can slip in kind of bizarre things?
Oh yeah,
Like in the oil and gas, they can slip something in there about parking fees?
So let's take
Okay,
No,
so
they
it's gotta
can't do
be.
that.
Okay,
let's take
right.
that as an example though.
Okay.
Let's say because of being overwhelmed, something did slip in, and then it was brought to their attention. It was brought to the legislature's attention after that, and they say, no, this rule goes. It prevents the governor from saying you can't do that.
and they can pull. They don't have to throw the whole thing out. They can.
Right.
They can pull out a whole. You
Yes,
can't
it's
take
a
a word
line
out.
item.
You can't change the wording, but you can pull it all out.
Yes.
But they put really stupid stuff
Mhm.
in there that could come back to haunt people, especially in agriculture.
And that happens to be
Yeah.
on page 8.
Yeah.
The ones if you go down farther on this, it goes through the different departments,
Mhm.
and then you can
Legislative actions
see,
on major issues. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh wow, this is awesome. Oh whoa. So
kind of
this is
explains it.
yeah. Huh.
Oh, criminal justice. Oh, these are just all
Holy
education.
crap.
There's education.
So this is what they did for the whole session.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And they put
Election.
pictures in. Oh,
Yeah,
I
look
love
at
that.
the
And
nice
just
picture.
rule changes.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Big document.
From agency.
I haven't got to the good part yet.
Oh,
I'm so
my
excited.
gosh. Did you get
Hit the back button.
I want to stay here.
I know. I want to go back.
Everywhere she takes us, we want to stay.
You can. This is your
Yeah.
library.
Yes.
It's like the UN's. It's your world.
It's like the UN.
Get your toothpicks out and stay up all night tonight.
So, okay, prior sessions 2016. Okay,
Okay.
so that was the sign die report.
Yep.
Okay, so you know where to find that.
Oh, that's what that was.
Now, the committee minutes,
See, we've been there before.
okay? Yeah, but click on it.
Oh, this is the good stuff. huh?
You really want to take the time because it's absolutely fascinating.
Committee minutes, right?
to-
Is that what you said?
Yes, it's absolutely fascinating to read down and see the legislators talking about an idea or something and what they are saying about it. And somebody says, well, what about this? And so there's this interaction. And then it sounds like a great idea. And it's like, well, that sounds pretty good. And then you follow that intent down the line to the bill to getting enacted to the rules. And it's like, what happened? That's not what they were talking about.
That's where you talk about the golf course.
Yes. Yes. So you can go, if you see your particular bailiwick here under the Senate or the House, you can just go there. And I cannot emphasize enough how much time it takes to read this junk. Let's see.
Transportation and defense.
The other thing that you can locate here is who's lobbying. Who's going in there and telling these people all this crap? And you can see, like we talked about that one thing, the NCSL, they go in there and lobby these people and teach them all this crap. The education thing is loaded with lobbyists and all kinds of people going in and saying, well, we don't want this. Well, this is the way you should do it. So you've got all this pressure on those legislators who don't know what to do, I would imagine, more so than what we can ever come up with. And that's why they keep going the other direction, because they're listening to all these other people.
Well, and so that was the other idea that we had.
Did you know Stephanie was in here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all in there.
Yeah.
Was to maybe make a bill saying you have to have equal time with citizens as you do lobbyists in the committee meetings.
So what if no citizens show up? That means no lobbyists?
Yep.
Yeah, I
All
like
right.
that idea.
Idaho has a Bureau of Homeland Security.
That's a damn good bill, Mila.
Right?
That's interesting.
Wouldn't that make it freaking
I'm
crazy?
Just saying, just imagine how much
Yes.
shorter.
We could totally eliminate a lot
So
of BS.
I'm not going to go into this a lot, but just go to 26. Now there's an index also, so you can go there.
What?
Index at the top. And then you could go down through the different bills. Go to House bills. No, that's not it.
Oh, do I need to go back?
I would think so.
Under what?
Go to
2016 committee minutes. Index.
go index. It's right there in front of you. You don't no, don't do that.
Oh, here we go.
It's
I
there.
was. Oh, yeah.
Index.
I already clicked on. I wanted to
Index.
see- I
Do
already-
not do that.
Every grading.
Minute index. Click on it, Vicki.
Oh, here we go. Oh, yes.
Yes,
Woo!
There we go.
I was so
Okay,
distracted.
so now if you know the House bill number or the Senate bill number, or I think it, anyway, the point being, if you know that stuff, then you can go to the bill, and then on the right is the dates. So they had a discussion on, let's go down to, you have to kind of go way down on this, what I'm going to show you. So we're going through the HCRs and the Senate and all that. Keep going. Gubernatorial appointments is in this one. Okay, so it says committee, it's in blue, it's a blue line across, committee presentations and rules review. So go down to House Education. So on January 20th, they had a mastery-based education presentation.
Yes.
So click on that.
Where's the blue line?
Way down.
Way
Keep
down.
going.
So instead
It
of,
organizes it first by bill,
yeah,
then it's organizing it by date. So
Right.
we're in the date order.
so out of this 222-page deal, it's on page 10, and they take you right to it if you know what it is that you're looking for.
Whoa.
So-
Go back.
So here we got Wednesday, January 20th, Education Committee, Demorant, or is that how you say it?
Demordaunt.
Demordaunt,
More dawn.
Van Orden, Shepherd, Willis, Boyle, Cloud, Gestrin, Harris, Mendy, McDonald, they were all there. And then they had all these guests, of which Sherry Ybarra was one. And the Council of State, Chief State School Officers.
CCSSO.
You had, I don't know who some of these people are.
Mine loading this. I think.
Okay.
Mine too.
Who's
Mine
Mrs.
too.
Poon?
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 It's not Mrs. Powell, that's for sure.
No.
Yeah.
Easy.
Poon.
Can you imagine that people make fun of her in school?
Well, it's because
Well-
of that we have anti-bullying laws now.
I
Mrs.
know it.
Poon,
Nobody
Mrs.
self-governs, do they?
she said the Idaho definition of mastery-based learning can be found in H110, which says an education system where student progress is based on a student's demonstration of mastery of competencies and content, not seat time or the age or grade level of the student.
Although,
Mrs. Poon came up with that.
although in No, that's not what my school board member said it
Did it get lost along the way there?
meant. It did.
Okay, good example. So there's,
Said it means that if my child is smart enough to get through the stuff in the classroom, then he gets to spend his time getting you, and you up to his level.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jennifer.
So are you going to pay him?
I was gonna ask.
And I'm going to get a rebate?
Miss Poon is from CCSSO,
And what
Oh.
is that?
Chief Council
Chief State School Officers.
There you
It's the state superintendent, federal private organization.
But she's
Private
not
trade group.
superintendent.
Federal,
So-
private, or
How is she in there?
It's a private trade organization. The CCSSO and the NGA, National Governor Association, are the copyright holders of Common Core.
that's who was doing it,
Mhm.
and Mr. Stephen Bowen. So this goes on pages and pages, and then
What the hell? Well, is she a superintendent from some other state or something?
She could be, or she could just be somebody that works. I mean, it's an entity, so they have to have, chairman and board members and.
Is
So-
there any requirement for these legislatures, in the 9 months that they're not in session, they're having all their little secret meetings? with
see, I
each
think
other?
that's where the gubernatorial veto thing came up. I think that was behind the door deal, because I haven't been able to find anything. And maybe it's there and I just haven't found it, but I think there was I just had this gut feeling that was a backdoor threat by him, and they said, we'll show you. I
Well,
don't know.
and so that's part of the other thing that's really, and I'm trying to make the connection, I guess, through my issue, only because I'm so far down in the data privacy hole.
That's all in here.
If they are going to require by law, and they're going to legislate from their committee that my child and my family and our medical history and my concealed weapons permit and my husband's psychiatric, whatever, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. If we are going to say that should all be necessary to be cataloged, tracked, for them to decide if that it's an accountability measure, then the same consideration should be made for those doing the legislating. So I think we should have all their medical records. I should know how many beers they drink at night. I need to know how many times they're having sex. I need to know how many
That's really
how many
important.
marriages they've
Make 'em
had.
tell you.
I mean, those are the questions that they're asking your child in school, which is why I bring it up. I'm not trying to
how
be
many
foul.
times they've stolen.
And so
campaign.
and there should be no secret committees. There should be none of this. Every single data point that is populated on my child and my family should be equally and is then basically populated by our legislators for us.
Yeah.
Steve.
So if you had the time to go through each, not only bill, but under education, and you could sit down and read all those.
Yeah.
Who said what, who was there, and the whole schmack.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, so you look at this one thing,
Yeah, this is just
this
master
one
based.
day.
And then there's the one I sent you and Tammy
Mhm,
that was one after another of lobbyists in there.
mhm. Well, and then they lie. I sat through these and they just lied.
Yeah.
And there's no accountability.
Well, also too, my point is in the 9 months they're not in session. They're meeting for coffee. They're talking about, what to do and
Going on
who's
golf
doing what, and
trips.
Oh, yeah.
and none of it is captured
That's a lot.
on paper like
It takes
this.
some time.
Right. That's what I said, but if we had trackers on their phones and their devices, like they do on my child's laptop, his one-on-one device, we would know more.
Well, that sounds like we should sit down and write ourselves a bill, like you suggested.
Well, and that's what,
And do Rule 45,
right?
because it's going to sit in their desk.
Yeah.
So who do we get to do the nuclear option? Somebody that's going out.
Somebody.
Well, we don't have to because we're a tricameral. We can do it ourselves.
Well, but that's by referendum, though. That's got to go
That's
before the
true.
voters.
That's true.
So, and they have made that unbelievably difficult to do.
Bill, like, are
We
we
can still
off
do
the
it, though.
total squirrel thing?
Well, I've got one more thing to show you here. So
Let's go.
hit the back button.
I got off on the scroll, so.
Okay.
I was reading-
It's easy to
I was
do.
reading some of the committee notes.
Oh,
This is Pooh. Pooh. No, this
Okay,
is Pooh.
scroll back up to the
Ms.
top of that page.
Ms. Pooh.
2, 3. I gotta go back from the
To the
inside.
top, just stay on this, on this.
Okay,
Top of the document or
right,
top of
get rid of,
the,
go back to the,
top of the committee meetings index
okay,
page?
My computer
Look at
just
the community.
totally.
Where we're at.
okay, right there, right there.
Oh,
Don't move. Go to the top. The very
Okay, we're
top.
still on the 2016 committee meeting
Correct.
index.
Correct.
Okay.
Just stand by there.
sakes.
For news.
All the way to the top.
All the way to the top.
Come on, where's your little thing here?
I don't know.
What are you trying to do?
Don't move. Don't touch anything. All right. Go back to take a mail screwed up. Prior sessions, 2016 session, and the sidebar, go down to 2016 journals. Everybody see that?
No.
Halfway.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, go to 2016 journals. Now, there's one for the Senate and there's one for the House. So I want you to think of this as Anne Frank documenting hour by hour for 2 years as she was hiding out. This is a record of everything that happened during that session.
What? Get out.
It's a journal.
You need
Pull it up.
Who does this journal?
This has to be published every day at the end of the session.
At the
So-
beginning of each session,
Every
this is
day.
one of the scroll things I got on earlier. Every day, they actually approve the journal from the previous day.
Yeah. So journal 1, or from the Senate, is 447 pages, and the House Journal is
Still loaded.
Still not as long as.
I'm not loading the load. I'm just saying how 388 or 68. So this, we have our session in the legislature, and then the next day, this has to be uploaded, approved, and then they put it on here. So you could literally look at the end of the day what they did the day before.
I think the secret gun committee meeting is in this.
If you want to read it, go for it. It's not broken out into that because everything isn't organized the way it's presented. And so you just have to read and read and read.
No.
Yes, it is a big barf. I avoided this area because I just,
But so now that's fun though, because now there's more of us. And this is fun. And it will be more fun. Let's see which committees. Who's our next set of players in the public pool? Moyle and Trujillo? Which committees are they on together?
at the hour of 12 p.m. on Monday, January 11, 2016, the time established for the convening of the second regular session of the 63rd Idaho Legislature, the members of the Senate convened in the Senate chamber of the Capitol in the city of Boise, President Brad Little presiding. The following certificate of election was read by the, I mean, it's a very detailed, step-by-step, this is what happened. Roll call showed all members, you don't have to look any of those up. Roll call showed all members present except Senator War Engelking, absent and formally excused. Prayer was offered. Prayer was offered.
Yeah, they pray, but they don't believe it. Not the sin anymore.
Isn't this where, what's her name got in so much trouble because she walked out because it was a Muslim prayer? Remember those?
Yeah,
in
Sherry
Idaho, they
Yeah.
did Muslim prayer.
Sherry Nuxel did, yeah.
She and another one walked
Oh,
out.
was it Muslim or Buddhist?
Muslim.
Muslim?
My God.
Yeah, she got up and walked out. And they gave her a bunch of crap for it. She didn't take, I'm good for her.
That's what I
Yeah,
told.
good
I
for her.
emailed her and said, "Good for you."
Yeah.
I think I did too.
That's outrageous.
You know.
It's disgusting.
So that's journals. Prior sessions. Go back. Back button. Sticky.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have a back button on that
I
thing?
do.
Oh, there you are.
I'm
Okay.
I'm
Prior
on task.
sessions.
I just get so distracted.
Prior sessions.
Okay.
2016 session. And you understand that regardless of what year you go to, it has the same sidebar. Okay. 2016 code sections affected. So if you want to do it by title, again, this is just another way to get some information about something. There's several different ways. So if you know the title and the section that,
Oh,
okay,
look at 33,
yes,
Title 33.
yes, it's bad.
education.
Holy
Holy smoke.
shit.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Sorry about that language, but wow,
What
that
flavor
is
is
screwed
it?
up.
God, no wonder Idaho's, education
Holy mama.
status in the 50 states is so low.
So let's see, let me just show you real quick what this looks like. Whoops.
49
Look at
isn't on the
54.
bottom.
54.
I don't know what 34 is.
54. Holy crap.
But you would know how to get there to look.
I would know how to get there now.
So go to up to the top of the page to Title 11625 amended. The very first one, HO 461, Chapter 34.
Okay.
And click on that. So there's the bill.
Nice.
So you can easily see who said yay, who said nay. Well, what's the intent of this bill? And go to statement of purpose. Actual bill text is there. Okay. And this is just one I picked. It's not of any interest.
Wow. I've been looking for something.
Amends existing law to provide
Okay, and there's
certain
other
portion of
ways to get
surcharge
here, but
fees
this is just
shall
one
be
way during
deposited in the
the
state
session.
general fund. Well, I don't know. I don't think it's, I think it might just be surcharge fees. What the hell are surcharge fees?
Something for you to pay. What don't you understand
It's
about
something
this?
Gas
to pay
tax?
for the privilege of
Professional
paying another fee.
qualifications and businesses.
Oh, nice.
there you go.
More for licenses, basically, right?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Well, it was
that
in
was cer-
California when we went to register our car and they said it's gonna be $400 and something. As a,
Okay,
fee.
so
You know, and I
So-
said, what's the $40 fee for it? And she said, I don't know. I just have to tell you, you have to pay it. I said, is it for the privilege of paying the $400 and some dollars?
So if you go down to the very bottom, last thing, the last bar across, blue bar, is called rules. There's one down there on education. It was a rule that was rejected.
Where you went back further.
It's at the very bottom. Go back.
go back. Oh,
Oh, I didn't tell you to go back, sorry.
you
So
didn't.
it says rejected.
Yeah.
We're reading your mind though. We're getting there.
It
Yeah,
says rejected, but then right after the bill link, it says in parentheses adopted.
right, so let's pull it up, see what
The bottom
happens.
of
Wait,
all these
where
things,
are
or
we?
Where
Rules.
are we? I went back.
Oh,
but I-
there is
IDHEA?
subsection 5.
Which one?
Very
are we
bottom
talking
of
So
rules.
it was initially rejected
It's
and
the
then
first,
they
the
did
first
more
blue
readings
text
on it.
underneath rules. See subsection 05 rejected. HCR 039.
Oh,
Right, but down at the bottom it says that they were rejected. And
are we going back on HO 461?
Go to the very bottom of that page.
Okay. This one here.
No,
No.
go back to where you were
Sorry.
and then go down to the very, very, very bottom,
Okay.
all the way to the bottom. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
We're
Board
adopting or rejecting.
of Education, it says rejected and then adopted. Are you on, wait a minute, it's this one. Are you on SR or CSR
Oh, Milo,
139?
Chapter 6. You were saying something.
Which
about
one, which
6
bill are
o'clock.
you on?
I hadn't clicked on it. I was wondering which one.
Okay, so do you want to do HCR 045 or no, that one was, go to the very, very bottom one. It's dyslexia.
SCR 139.
No,
Yeah, SCR.
SCR.
Right. Did I not say that?
I don't know.
SCR. SCR 139.
My brain must be tired because I'm getting dyslexic.
Yeah.
Reading
Well,
things
we're reaching
backwards.
the end of our time.
Okay, are we supposed to
So
look at
in
that?
in that
SCR
rules,
139?
You had a
Okay,
question,
sure,
he had a
let's-
question about why it was rejected then adopted.
in the rules section, there's 3 joint rules that were changed. So those are specific joint rules with the House and the Senate. So the question we were talking about earlier, like 4 hours ago, was whether or not they changed, how often they changed the rules and stuff. So here, I don't know if it would show the Senate and House rules here if there is a change. You'd think it would because it's showing some changes.
They
in joint
changed-
rules.
They change these rules every stinking year. Sometimes for agriculture rules, like for our dairy
I'm talking
rules,
about
But we're
specifically
talking
the
about
House
the
and
rules
Senate
for the
oh,
House.
for the House and Senate, okay.
And so there are some changes
Oh.
here, but they're joint rules. There's no links here to change it. And I've looked through a number of those journals to see if at the very beginning of the sessions, if they had a vote on rules, and they didn't. So I don't know when they vote on rules. That's kind of a
It's gotta be.
stealthy about it.
Let's see.
You know,
that's,
if you click on that and then go to statement of purpose, this amends Joint Rule 18. It's intended to encourage more accurate fiscal notes and statements of purpose. It also makes more plain that these are mere attachments and are not an expression of legislative intent.
I'll show you where
Just
what you were wondering about. Go to 20 prior sessions.
We have dinner reservations at 7 though.
So we got to go. 20 in the sidebar. Go down to admit
Okay.
prior sessions 2016 session.
2016.
Bar drop down to the right.
Yeah.
Okay, go down to administrative rules reviewed and click on that.
So,
And so that would be a place to look
let's see if there's
to see what rule they
Administration.
is it there.
no House and Senate rules. These are all just departments.
Right, but it's got the rule.
Well, I'm talking two different rules. So these are administrative rules that we're looking at here.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the actual
The rules of the Senate.
rules of the House.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay. Okay.
And I
It's
found
just-
that because leadership
It's a
membership.
little stealthy.
Here it is right here. So if you go to the side and you go to Senate, and then you go over to that sidebar there to the right, it'll say Senate rules, joint rules.
Left sidebar.
So the Senate rules,
It's not right.
I know we have it, but there's not seeing any indication of them voting on them each session. Not
Well,
seeing any amendments. The
yeah,
only
once
amendments we're
again,
seeing is those joint.
no, if you go back to, go down to the bottom, it was what, Joint Rule 18 or something that I just read. Okay, if you click on that blue link there, it takes you to it, and it tells you who voted for it, who
That's
voted
just the
against it.
joint rules. So that's the rules that the House and Senate share. They're still their
The rules of
independent
the Senate,
rules
how the
of
Senate's
their
governed,
body.
right?
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
there was no,
There may not have been any changes. Maybe that's why we're not seeing it. But usually a legislative body will vote on the rules at the very beginning. And I didn't
Down
see
here it
that
says
in
the commission shall have the power to take testimony under oath.
I don't know if that's.
Do you
And
think it'd be-
Set chapter 4.
Do you think it'd be farther down in one of those house journals?
Well, usually it would be first thing. I went through at least a week and a half or so into the
You read that
session,
fast?
and
I wish I could read
didn't
that.
see
I didn't
any.
comprehend it.
And comprehend.
So
That's
When it gets
interesting.
exciting, I can comprehend it. It's just dull stuff.
they both houses immediately suspended the rules for a particular piece of legislation they're trying to push through. It was House Bill 27. I didn't read what that bill was, but they immediately, at the beginning of their session, before they even listened to the governor,
House Bill
they
27.
said, let's suspend rules and pass this House.
Oh. Yeah, they do
What?
that a lot.
Yeah, they do it a lot.
And then they went into a joint session, listened to the governor, and then you go through and then they start listening to bills. There's no votes on,
What was it again?
I think it was HB 27. If you go to prior sessions, journals,
And they do it so fast, it's almost not like a vote.
Prior sessions.
Yeah, you gotta-
and go.
you
What'd you
gotta
go?
follow this
How'd you find
Okay,
it
journals.
faster? Session
Okay.
laws.
go to the House, so go to journal, prior sessions 2016, journal,
Okay.
click on the House journal. And if you go down to right, so the session starts first day on document page 1. We talk about roll call, prayer. They certify the election. So the list of who is officially elected. And then they go to appointments from the governor, motions and memorials. And then immediately, in motions and memorials, we talked about this HCR 27. And they suspend their rules in order to vote for it.
What page is that on? There's one,
It's on page 2.
page 2. Okay, here we go.
The first link that I saw.
HCR
Yeah,
27.
just keep scrolling down.
Just read the first time.
Oh, all it is, nothing. All it is just it's their motion to enter into a joint session. The
No,
governor
no, you're
just
not.
stated it.
It's there.
Oh.
That's page 1 right there.
But still, if you keep going down there in the journal, there's nothing about rules. Unless they just don't change them often and they just stand until there is a change. You know, it's possible.
Let's see.
And the reason why that I find that important is because if you look at some of the most successful legislators in getting bills through, it's those that know how to navigate the Senate and the House rules. I mean, like I think that Heather Scott found was a good thing, so she used it.
Pissed everybody off though. Everybody's saying they won't work with you this year.
She got an award for that. didn't
But you know what? That's okay. It's
I
a
don't know.
barrier. They're going to need her vote too someplace. So
she? What, doctors?
What's that?
They gave you some kind of award for
Did they?
Oh, the
for
crow
holding everything
thing.
up.
Yeah, that Maurice Clemens got. If you don't go along with the way they want to do things.
in fact, I believe Idaho
They-
now is supposed
They
to
are
be
so
in
mature.
international.
I don't know why we just don't pick people out of the phone book and say, go on down there to the State House and
The others,
do your thing for 3 months, and then we'll pick another people out of the phone book next year.
All right.
So do you want to end here and we'll have to have a third class?
Yeah, I'm getting kind of hungry. It's going to take us a few minutes.
Yeah, it'll take us a little while to get there. Class number 3. I can't wait. This is so much fun.
We were just there.
Right?
Nobody was there.
What?
We were just
We didn't either,
downstairs.
yeah.
Nobody was there. I mean, not all of us. There were some other.
Now, are you guys, so on this page, are you guys able to see, did they film all the committees and sessions?
There's records
Watching
of it.
stuff here?
I don't think
they don't
filmed
film all of
No, they don't.
No.
But there is.
It says it's in the archive.
That's what I'm saying. There's no reason why we shouldn't.
So-
In the 21st century.
You mean each
So the
of
Idaho Freedom Foundation, it's been, I don't know how many, just a few years ago. So they used to destroy them.
after each session.
After each session, they would destroy all of those videos. Yeah.
Now they're-
And Idaho Freedom Foundation tried to stop that from happening, and they went, no, we're going to still destroy them over here. So Idaho Freedom Foundation said, fine. From now on, we'll film them all and we'll archive them. So now, because of that, they archive them. So, I mean,
Except
Yeah,
for
but how
the
do we
secret
trust
gun
them to
committee.
get it all?
the Secret Gun Committee,
Yeah, they probably didn't film that.
they got a secret committee for everything, I swear to God. And some of them are having secret meetings
Yeah,
to do secret things that they're not letting in us. On it.
I don't want to be in on that. No pool parties for me.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and
No, not
stop
chlorine
this
anymore.
recording.
Yeah, done.
Sure.
We're all ending?
Yes.
What did I do?
Uh-oh. Were you supposed to put that in there? And I think she's supposed to put that in there and like save it.
I just wiped it all out.
Well, if you do that, we're just going to have to do it again.
You know, this is such,
No, it's
this
not
is,
ended. You haven't ended it yet, so.
So stop recording at the
No,
bottom?
No,
I
Do-
could-
but-
no,
do you want
don't
me to
stop
put this in
recording
there?
yet because sometimes, I don't
No,
know
I
how
don't
this
need
one
that.
works, but with go to meeting, as soon as you stop recording, if you haven't told it where to save that file, it won't save it. So I
Okay.
don't know,
But I lost my,
connection.
because it's still telling me that I can still hear you talking.
It says you're recording.
yes, but I lost my little bar at the top.
Yeah, it must have just.
So at the bottom, it says pause, stop recording.
Somewhere.
Thank God.
See, I wonder if Ray.
I knew I'd screw it up. I knew it.
I know what you're.
So thank God I found that.
Wow.
Not on that.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
They're bulletproof. You can't.
Yeah.
You can screw it up, but you just have to figure out how to unscrew it. It's
If I
always
did in
there.
meeting, would it
But
say
our,
where do you want to save it?
Our,
I don't know.
one of our
That's a
superintendent
good
guy.
question.
he
Click on one of
has
these
the
arrows and
new,
let's see what those arrows
iPad
do.
with the keyboard.
Oh,
He loves it.
Click on the other one.
Says it's like the same.
We're
exact
done,
thing.
aren't
interesting.
we? We're done.
So-
Yes.
So wonder
But I would like to get either a laptop or get the big iPad first, like this. I mean,
Look
this
to
is
that
not big.
recording.
Yeah, this thing's 4 years old. It's still fast enough.
It's the same thing that's down here. End meeting?
Yeah, but I don't want it to end the recording. I wonder if Ray is available.
Because
Do you have his
keyboard.
number?
I do.
Well, he is.
Because it's what?
My kneeboard for
Yeah,
flying.
his number.
This is my navigation program when I fly
I
my
could just
plane.
try to text
Ah,
him.
oh, Joe Palmer had.
I would.
That's what he had an iPad. We
You
flew.
know,
Oh my
I
gosh,
don't
it was
know
so.
what
Yeah, it was cool.
It's just,
I was very
Oh, full
impressed.
screen.
All that new stuff. Now that ADS.
Right down the river in Hell's Canyon, all the way. It was awesome. It was so awesome.
Yeah,
That
they
is not
can
very nice.
really keep track of your run.
Tell him Karen screwed it
It
up.
was neat watching airplanes take off from Boise and fly over it.
So I downloaded Brave, so I've been using that.
Oh, yeah.
And
Is that what you've been using?
yeah,
I don't want any part of that.
and it just well, no, I don't. This guy was just. What was I on here? I don't know.
Is this all part of it? Brave?
No, just right there. Just click on that. It's just yeah. Oh, I was on Brave, wasn't I? I'll be here. Blue.
So when you
Okay,
download
just
it, does it
release
wipe Mozilla out?
It hasn't. I've still got it on there.
Okay, perfect. If
Um,
it doesn't open up, the Zoom folders just didn't see drive somewhere.
I noticed that maybe it's just me, but I noticed that I have trouble with it every now and then. It just like changes the page.
He's the guy
So
that
yeah,
ran-
just
did.
kind of what
the
was
guy that
happening
ran
to me. I'm
against,
like, what's going on? It
Russ
was
Hansen.
always
Yeah,
there,
you
but
hit-
you know, most of it could
Oh,
be
no,
incompetent.
you
Okay,
don't want to send
and-
that out.
well,
to us.
what-
Oh, yeah, I got it from somebody.
stop
Who I got it from.
recording.
I saw Roseanne last
Fix
night.
it and
Got
stop
the-
recording.
Well, I
Let's
said-
go ahead and do stop recording.
It was